Hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. Man, how video games have changed, right? I know we've had this conversation before, how video games have evolved and amazed at how they've grown, how they've expanded, how they've become a multi-billion-dollar industry, and how millions upon millions of people around the world have now fallen in love with them. Video games used to be a niche kid's toy back in the day. Can you believe that? Video games were originally a niche technological kid's toy. Now they've become part of media, now they've become art, now they've become blockbuster AAA events. Video games, a lot of video games nowadays, make more money than the blockbuster movies. Now millions upon millions of dollars are put into making video games. Isn't that amazing? It really is amazing. And I think the amazingness, the outstanding evolution of video games has gotten to some gamers, and maybe, just maybe, we're overestimating video games a little bit, and underestimating them at the same time. Let me explain. I feel like a lot of gamers are overestimating video games, which is why we have this hype train, video game hype bullshit, and why we have so much disappointment and hatred in the gaming community. With how video games have evolved over the years, gamers are expecting everything and more. They're expecting every game to come out with every feature imaginable. A lot of gamers think nowadays, well, if that game did that, why can't all other games do that? And I'm just not talking about the younger generation of gamers out there, I'm also talking about the old ones who have been around for a while. Hell, they're the worst at overestimating what video games can do, and expecting so much of them. Gamers expect a new release of a game to be squeaky clean, no bugs or glitches, else that's unacceptable. Gamers expect over 100 hours of content for the $60 that they paid. Gamers expect gameplay that will never feel repetitive to them, ever. Gamers expect innovation with every brand new game. Gamers expect originality with every brand new game. I'm sorry to report, but that's just not the case here, and you're overestimating video games a little. Yes, video games have come incredibly far, but video games, while being art, are also a product, and no product is perfect. It's going to have issues, it's going to have things that need to be refined, retooled, retuned. It's going to have things you like, it's going to have things you dislike. But that product is not going to have everything you've ever wanted in it. Say Honda or Ford announces a brand new car. It looks nice, it has all these features and stuff. They had a really cool commercial for the car. You're going to expect that car to be flawless and be every penny's worth. Hell, it's going to be better than what you're expecting, right? Wrong. One, a car is just a car. There's only so much you can do with it. As much as I'm sure that the designers of the car would have loved to put everything they could have into it and make it the best car ever, they just can't. They have limitations, budget constraints, workers and shareholders that need to be paid. So the car has this and that, but one less cup holder. Oh, boo-hoo. That doesn't mean it's not a well-made car. I know this is a horrible analogy, but bear with me. I just want to get a point across and get you guys thinking. Video games are never going to be perfect, and they're never ever going to have anything. They're going to be missing things that other video games may have. Same thing with cars. That car may have a HD radio, but this other car has a TV built in the backseat. Now, video games are not sold products. They are art, and as art, it is subjective. You're not gonna like every video game that comes out, and not every video game is going to appeal to you. Let me give you an example. The Batman Arkham games. I personally like the games. I find them to be really good games, but none of the Batman Arkham games are my favorite games of all time. While other people go mad and rave about the Batman Arkham games, I'm just like, yeah, they're good games. I enjoy them. Another example would be Call of Duty multiplayer. Millions of people around the world love Call of Duty multiplayer. I despise it. I don't find it fun at all, for a variety of reasons based on my video game experiences. Those games had certain elements, or were lacking certain elements, that bothered me. That doesn't mean I'm going to shit all over the game, call it a bad product. I'm not going to insult the developers, the creators, and just throw away their hard work. Call their hard work trash, as if I know how to make a video game. Look, a video game can't have everything. It can't have that big, epic 60-hour single player. It can't have that endlessly replayable multiplayer. It can't have every knick-knack and trinket that can be found in other games. There are limitations. There are restrictions, there are setbacks, there are reworks. That's life. That's business. That's how things work. Yes, video games are art. But sometimes the artist just can't go all the way. There are limitations. And video games are also products. That's one of the unique things about video games. They're products and they're works of art. And there are limitations that come in both those works. All I'm saying is don't overestimate video games. Expect a quality product. Don't expect perfection. Don't expect a game to be completely innovative and original and revolutionary. Expect quality, nothing else. Don't overestimate your video games. Now that being said, don't underestimate them either. I also hear and see a lot of cynical gamers that underestimate the hell out of video games and just write them off as such simple programs. They write them off as simple programs, simple bits of code and nothing more. You know those kinds of gamers, those kinds of people that say, oh, well, I could do better, when they really couldn't? You know those kinds of gamers who think it takes nothing to make a video game, that anyone can just make a video game and make it quality? You know those kinds of people? Yeah, they're really, really underestimating video games, and if you're one of those kinds of people, I'm sorry, bud, but you're making a mistake. There's more to video games than simple programming and code. Well, of course, that's a big part of it, and it's important. Keep in mind, video games are a product with certain standards, and they're also, as I've said before, art. They're artistic mediums. And it takes a lot of hard work and determination to make a quality video game that people will want to play. It requires concept art. It requires extensive writing, developing prototypes, alphas, betas, maybe even remaking the game entirely from scratch. Oh, and let's not forget sound. Sound is a crucially important part of video games, and you may have to buy high-quality sound assets or go out into the world and record the sounds yourself. And let's not forget, in the AAA video games, they have voice actors, and don't you dare disrespect voice actors. You have no friggin' idea how insanely difficult it is to pull off what voice actors do. It's not just pretending to be someone else and speaking into a microphone. It takes dedication and so much hard work to be able to literally play and become other characters and do all the voice works and little sound effects. Oh my god. And then there's mastering the gameplay. You think actually making gameplay is as simple as, alright, here's a camera, the player moves the camera, I'll put these stiff animated arms in front of him, let's just throw any random makeshift gun in there. Alright, we'll make the movement keys, this, that. Okay, everybody, we're done, there's our gameplay. No! That's not how this works. I would recommend actually watching some documentaries on the development of video games. I would highly recommend that before you criticize and judge, berate and discredit the video game industry and video game development, that you actually look at how much friggin' hard work it takes into actually putting a video game together, especially a quality one. Hell, you know what? Some of the indie developers have it just as bad as the AAA developers. While the AAA developers have to work with managing costs and of course making everything quality and look good, indie devs have to strive for something original or old school or whatever, just something that catches the customer's eye. Indie developers have a lot of competition with themselves and of course the big AAA devs. So they really have to strive to do something that would attract people. Again, whether it be original and new or harkening back to the old school days to get attention. And just coming up with the ideas to make a video game. God, the hours, the days, the weeks, the months it must take to just come up with, okay, our game's gonna be this, it's gonna do this, these are the characters that will inhabit our game, this is how our game's gonna work. Do you have any idea how hard it is just to plan out a game? My goodness, man, please, don't underestimate video games. They're not as simple as you think. And that's my message to gamers everywhere. Don't overestimate and don't underestimate video games. While video games can't do everything, and they'll never be perfect, they're also not simple bits of programming code that anyone can just strap together. There's more to video games than meets the eye. Anyways, that's been a video, that's been my opinion. Let me know what you guys thought. Did you like the video? Did you like my gameplay? Did you like the opinions all found in this video? If you liked the video in any way, shape, way, or form, please hit the like button. Hitting the like button lets me know that, well, I did a good job and you guys liked the video. Please leave a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on anything to do with the video, whether it be the topic, my opinion, the gameplay, whatever. Let me know your thoughts, feelings, and opinions in the comment section below. I love reading comments, so get nearly enough comments. Please leave a comment. And finally, I am the Gamertron. I love video games, I love talking about video games, and if that's something that interests you, maybe consider supporting me by subscribing to my channel. Anyways guys, this has been a video, and I will see you guys later.